Hey guys, Rexasaur here and welcome to the final battle for the Dwarf group. We have for this battle 3 TJDwarf versus Haxo on Glacial Lake. TJDwarf has brought an army composing of a normal Dwarf Lord, a Runesmith, taking some inspiration from Heph there. 4 units of Thunderers. He also has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 units of Dwarf Warriors with great weapons. Dwarf Warriors with great weapons! And Longbeard. Oh, I see. So he actually swapped off. So he's got 4 units of Longbeards with great weapons and 5 units of Dwarf Warriors with great weapons, as well as 2 units of Hammerers and 2 units of Grudge Throwers. Haxo has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 units of Thunderers, one unit of he's probably got two units of Longbeards with great weapons. 1, 2, 3, 4. So he's got 4 units of Dwarf Warriors with great weapons, 3 Longbeards with great weapons, 3 units of Hammerers, 2 units of Cannons, and his Lord. Let's move on and see how this plays out. And see, these guys are just going to casually start there first. Actually going to start firing straight away as the cannons start firing into the Dwarf Warriors straight away, and the Grudge Throwers, in fact, choosing to aim at someone who's moving, which means that they have to themselves move. Pretty annoying. So they're going to move forward and fire. I don't know who they've targeted. In fact, they probably just targeted a unit of Dwarf Warriors with great weapons, hitting these hammers right in the face, doing 5 kills. Pretty impressive, to be fair. Then again, they are anti-infantry in their stuff. Although they have already lost a Grudge Thrower due to the cannons cannonading at the enemy. The Thunderers shooting at each other is going well for, well, actually in the skirmish phase it just started, basically, is all I wanted to say. These Hammerers being told to go around the flank, as the general gist of it seems that TJDwarf is going to be doing some attack. Oh my god, some big hits on the rear of that unit with the cannons, and another huge hit, these cannonballs going straight into the hammer units, as the main line of TJDwarf just goes forward and being very offensive with this charge. We can see that Haxo is going to bring up his own men to that stage. These actually, both these armies are very similar, having Longbeards and great weapons on both sides. You can see the charge going forward, whatever charge you can call it, dwarf charge really. And it seems to be going pretty well. So there we go. The line has been dealt around. We have 2 spare units of hammers for Haxo. We have 4. Nope, we just have 2 units also of hammers, I believe, for TJDwarf. And there we go. It's the Thunderers going around the rear here, trying to get shots behind. I believe this map is so flat that you can't actually shoot over it really well, unless of course you have Grudge Throwers, which seems to be the case. And you can see the cannons firing over as well. Managed to get really good shots on these Hammerers. We're going to rush upon Haxo's own Hammerers, doing quite a bit. We've got a lot of charge bonus there. These Hammers taking a lot of damage overall though, as the Runesmith starts to pull out some stuff. It's got a Rune of Open Steel going down. TJDwarf's Lord is getting stuck in. Haxo's Lord not so much, just hanging out around the back, giving encouragement to his troops. You can see that these hammers attacking these units on their own, getting shot in the rear. There's some friendly fire going on as the Haxo's cannon is just firing into the melee like no one's business. And these 3 units of Thunderers firing at 1. We're going to take them down very quickly. I believe these ones are firing at these. I might be wrong. Nope, no, I'm afraid they are firing over there. So there we go. Really good firing on the other flank. We can see this unit of Thunderers also getting absolutely massacred by these ones. Just a massive grudge just being thrown at me right now. As this unit gets absolutely decimated, because this unit's actually routing as well. As the cannons continue to fire upon TJDwarf's Grudge Throwers. In the melee in general, we can see that the melee is going not so well when it comes to TJDwarf. It's pretty half-half, to be fair. I mean, they're both very similar armies, like I said. So it's going pretty well. It's mostly going to be the outside flanking forces, the heavy elite. It does seem like these hammers have broken through leaving the combat, chasing down the enemy hammers. But 2 versus 1 is always going to be like that, despite the fact that they are getting shot at by cannons and by thunderers all over, taking a lot of damage. I do remember that at the end of the battle, TJDwarf did comment to me saying, cannons, what the fuck? And I was like, yeah, they're pretty good. This unit not doing anything. Come on, Haxo. What are you doing? This whole unit could be axes helping you out. There we go. You can go around the rear and attacking the runesmith and the lord. Currently being overwhelmed by Haxo. It seems like Haxo's getting the over advantage over this melee fight. Mostly due to the missile fight, really. Doing a lot of damage before the initial charge. And the cannons doing... I'm actually going to see how many kills these cannons have got. 60 for this one, 71 for that one. That's a lot when you consider the fact that TJDwarf only had 1400. That's almost... oh, just under a tenth of his men? No, they'll be above a tenth if it's almost 140. Yeah, that's quite a lot. That's almost a tenth of his men gone. Just to the cannons. That's pretty good, considering how much they're killing. And it looks like TJDwarf has lost this, and Haxo's going to be taking it, despite the fact that some of the men are still there. We go, they're all fleeing now, and it's all over. Very, very good victory to Haxo there. All that's left now is these grudge throwers who are going to begrudgingly run away. Oh my god. So a valiant defeat for TJDwarf means that Haxo wins his last game, and TJDwarf loses his second game, which means that at the moment, both TJDwarf and Haxo are drawn on points with 1 victory and 2 defeats each, which means as a tiebreaker, they will be. I will be counting up the amount of men remaining and seeing who has the most men remaining at the end of every battle, and whoever does will be going up. Well, basically win the tiebreaker. But first, we have Donkey versus Heph, the ultimate final battle of the dwarf group. Okay, guys, here it is. The final battle. Dragonheart. MrSmartDonkey versus Heph. Here we have MrSmartDonkey once again using Ungrim Iron Fist as his legendary lord. He has 2 units of cannons. He has at the back 1 unit of hammers, 1 longbeard with great weapon, 1 unit of hammers here, 1 unit of longbeards with great weapon. Up front he has his miners, and then 2 miners with blasting charges. 4 units of thunderers, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 units of longbeards who will be facing off against Heph. Heph, as his general, has bought just the generic Mr. Dwarf here. Look how sexy he looks with his beard. He also has 1, 2, 3, 4 units of longbeards here, 2 units of hammers back here, 5 units of thunderers, 4 units of dwarf warriors with great weapon, and 1 unit of miners with blasting charges. And on the flank he's got his 2 cannons units. He also has a unit of longbeards protecting them. This game, 10 minutes long, double the length of the previous battle that we saw with Haxo versus TJDwarf. And the cannons start firing straight away, taking out a line of thunderers and a line of dwarf warriors. It looks like Heph is basically just going to have to take it. That bounce not doing a huge amount of damage there. And the cannon's not in range for Heph, so he's going to have to move up. And in fact, Donkey's going to do a very, very good strategic move, and he's going to move away from the cannons. He's going to move this way around, and Heph, very wisely, is going to move towards his cannons to make sure that they are in range for that. Actually, Heph's cannons managing to fire very well into the cannons, almost hitting that one. A very good shot from Heph, doing very good and facing against the cannons of Donkey. But yes, so at the moment, very much the skirmish phase. Both players wanting to get their cannons in range. Heph playing very well in managing to get his troops closer to a cannon, not taking the bait. Oh my god, I thought I crashed then. And not taking the bait and allowing Donkey to go around and forcing him to get away from the cannons. Instead, he's forcing Donkey to come towards unless he wants to get shot. That said, Donkey, if we look at the range of his cannons, very much still in range of the enemy here. Again, some longbeards hit. Although this unit of cannons just getting destroyed by Heph's So they're going to reform now. Is Donkey going to go away, or is he just going to focus with this one unit of cannons instead going forward? In fact, accidentally killing one of his hammerers in the process because of that firing. Despite the fact that hammers and dwarves in general are pretty short, you can still get a friendly fire if you stand them in front of them. A lot of hits. In fact, these guys got shot and then just decided to move forward. Like, shoot me. Can't take it. These guys have shields, they can block it, right? This unit, however, Longbeard, is not doing too much. And in fact, Donkey has decided to move very far away from the cannons, forcing Heph to move them anyway. But he is going to be able to turn them around and get some flanking shots on these units. But it looks like Donkey is just going to focus on this primary force and completely ignore this secondary force, which happens to have the Lord in. In fact, Heph does not seem to have a runesmith in this battle. Of course, due to the way that the battles are presenting, it is very possible that this was in fact the first battle that both of these players played in general, because they do not need to be played in order, they just need to be played on the correct map, which means that the third battle could be the first battle for the players, whilst it is the third battle in general. Very nice shots going into the side of these hammers by Heph here, as we slowly descend into the might now. Get a nice little view of the battle though. That as the dwarves go to fight in, we look over there, the cannons firing overhead. Such a cinematic scene going on. And Heph has lined up his thunderers. It looks like Donkey is going to do similarly. Although he's put his miners up front, so they're going to get fired straight off and take quite a bit of damage, I would assume, as they happen. These guys shouting their pride as they miss most of their shots due to the long range, firing much short. But they are firing at the hammers, doing quite a bit of damage and taking quite a few of them out. Well, mostly health though, more than anything. Miners don't actually have that much in terms of armor, but that means that they are screening the advance for the rest of Donkey's line, and he's actually putting pressure on. He's still got flanking troops on the flanks. Obviously, that's what you put flanking troops. And these cannons absolutely getting bombarded, and there's still only 3 of them left. There's only 2 of them left. 2 of them got destroyed, and they are focusing their fire on this very small unit of Longbeards now, who's about to get charged by these ones. They're still getting fired at just before the charge puts in effect, getting hit by the artillery, and the Longbeards fire in. These hammerers taking a huge pounding, most likely the ones targeted by the focus of Heph's fire. Thunderers behind the line, firing on the Thunderers there. Also, maybe also on the flank actually, more than anything. So these warriors are actually Longbeards, sorry, getting attacked on the flank. Blasting charges going through for, I believe, Heph. Yeah, it seems like he's fired these mining charges into the fray, taking out his own men, but also taking out a lot of these miners more than anything. The flank here, flanking charge, is going to be very important for MrSmartDonkey, who's going to go around and rear these units of dwarf warriors and miners. Actually, that's his own miners, so it's just a unit of dwarf warriors being flanked by really elite units, and these guys are going to rout very, very quickly by the looks of things. 5 minutes left on the clock. How is this battle going to go? Which way is it going to swing? We're going to have to find out and continue. Longbeards versus Longbeards with great weapons. It looks like Donkey definitely has the advantage in this case, although these guys are shielded, but they do not going to have a bonus for their shields or their armor in general because of the armor-piercing nature of great weapons. Cannons still firing at these thunderers. These cannons racking up a hell of a lot of kills. These ones 44, these ones only 28. Whilst Donkey's 107 and 66, a lot of damage. Looks like Donkey was focusing mostly on the infantry this whole battle. If we look at the casualties, both these guys had exactly the same amount of guys when they started, pretty much 20 men, and it looks like Donkey is just edging forward on 40 men more, but it's very close. This game, so close. Look at the casualties, they're both going down at the pretty much exact same rate. It looks like Heph's got a slight disadvantage, but he's only creeping. No, not even. Look how fast that is. They're so close. These units firing at each other. This battle so close as both these units, but it looks like Donkey's got the slight advantage on certain flanks, although this one unit holding back 3 units whilst the rest of the line on Heph's side is managing to go through. and take out a lot of these very elite units, these Dwarf Warriors with great weapons, and a unit of Hammerers versus Longbeards. The Longbeards are going to be so much better than these Dwarf Warriors with great weapons, which is a shame. And finally, this mining party just routs as these very low. Look how low these hammers are. 26 men here, 55, 31. These Thunderers are going to be able to fire down fury upon these men, doing a lot of damage. This unit of Longbeards actually being able to hold their own against these great weapons, but they are slowly going to die. But it's going to take a very slow amount of time. The amount of time that it's going to take them out is so long. These Longbeards actually taking a lot of damage against the other, against Heph's own Longbeard. These cannons moving now, getting ready to fire the infantry that is behind their lines. It looks like a lot of these guys are starting to rout now. These Longbeards with great weapons also routing. Remember, the Thunderers are dwarves. When they attack, they take out a shield and an axe. They are ready to attack people. You know, they are shielded. They can attack as dwarf warriors. It's not as strong, obviously, as normal dwarf units, but in a melee, they still hold their own. They're very strong units in their own right. Not just because they can shoot loads, but because they can be used in melee when needed and defend themselves pretty well. And it looks like, however, that Heph is starting to lose units left, right, and centre. His flanks are slowly diminishing. Donkey's Thunderers managing to take out Heph's own Thunderers really, really well. And Heph's general running from the battlefield, and we can see the targeting line of one of the cannons going into this unit that has just come back from routing, but is probably going to be shot, and it's not going to be very pretty when that happens. In fact, this unit, Heph, but stand your ground, probably a bit too far from his own men, to be honest. Here comes one of the cannonballs, and it's missed, but it's caused this unit to rout because of it. 1 minute 30 left on the clock, and it's not looking good for Heph. A lot of his men are starting to rout. If we look at the amount of deaths, Heph is now a whole 200 below what Donkey has. Remember that routing units count as dead on this counter, so as soon as they come back they will be up, but right now Donkey has over 500 men fighting fit, whilst Heph only has 350, all 200 down. It's not looking good for Heph, but this game was so close. Both their cannons doing it all, and I think the thing that brought the advantage was not only the fact that Donkey managed to get some flanking units around the side, but also the amount of damage that these cannons have done, racking up 168 and 80 kills, whilst Heph's only getting 66 and 59, which is still nothing to scoff at. These guys turning their aim away from Donkey's cannons and into the fray definitely had done a good step, but if that had happened much earlier, if both of the cannons had ignored each other, maybe this would have been even closer. Some of these units, however, not coming back. Like, once they are routed and come back, Heph doesn't seem to use them back, which is not exactly his fault. It's very hard to, like I've said in previous videos, very hard to pay attention to that kind of stuff, especially there's no, like, your troops have rallied, sir, which would be very useful. But Donkey faces and wins a Pyrrhic, very much a Pyrrhic victory. I would say this is probably the most well-earned Pyrrhic victory out there. That was so close, very entertaining to watch. Amazing plays, just very like small things that were decided by the players that really decided the outcome of the battlefield, just using the cannons against the general masses of infantry, and then that small flanking force, although it didn't seem like it did that much, most likely put a lot of pressure morale wise. But Donkey has won his third and last game of this round. Sorry, just hiccup there. And Heph has lost 2, which means that he also has 1 win and 2 losses, put him in a draw with TJDwarf and Haxo. So once again, we'll be looking at the amount of men remaining, and the one who has the most men remaining will be going higher up the leaderboard. So I'm basically going to show you that now. So thank you very much for watching these battles. See you in a bit. So here are the results for the final placement of the Dwarves group after Battle 3. Donkey is in very much first place with 3 wins and 0 losses, 1,985 troops remaining, 9 points on the leaderboard. And in a freak of nature, everyone else has 3 points on the board, which means that it's all up to how many troops remaining. So TJDwarf wins with quite a big lead of 1,748. Then Haxo with 1329, and finally Heph gets the short straw, because for some reason Heph, whenever he like lost or won, it was always with very small numbers of troops. I'm not entirely sure why. Although from looking at his army compositions, he always took smaller armies than everyone else, so it might be due to that. But anyway, Heph sadly in last place with 892. So those are the leaderboards. So Donkey will be going into Group 1 for the second round, TJDwarf into Group 2, Haxo into Group 3, and Heph into Group 4. Thank you very much for watching. Hope you enjoyed these videos. Tomorrow we'll be looking at the greenskins. That's right, the big heavyweight group of them all for the moment. So I hope that you enjoyed the dwarves and you enjoyed the vampires yesterday. Tomorrow we'll meet up for the greenskins. Thank you very much for watching, and I will see you next time.